Hello my beautiful people, welcome to your first ever set of numerology videos with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. As many of you know, I do weekly tarot readings, monthly tarot readings. I also do a numerology live stream each month as well to set you up for the month ahead. Many of you know me from the Life Path series that I put out, which I cannot thank you all enough. Like I'm still actually completely blown away at how popular it's been, how many view counts they have. It's still really strange to me because when I was doing it, I was just doing it as a labor of love. And I've learned so much more since then as well. So don't forget, if you haven't seen it, there is a video that will show you how to calculate your life path number. That will be floating around up here somewhere. There's also a video to help you calculate your personal year number, which is a very important vibration for you to know. So there's also a video for you to find out how to do that as well. Be sure to check those out so that you can really get into these videos and use this information for the best for your, your path ahead for the month. So with that said, if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. If you are a continued subby of mine, you know I absolutely love you, and thank you so much for being a part of the Radiant Reality community. So we get into it. August 2021 is a universal 4-month, right? So some of you are probably like, if you know numerology at least a little bit, some of you are probably like, oh my gosh, here we go. For all of you, you will probably remember, for those of you that have been with me long enough, you will remember the numerology video that I put out at the start of 2020, which was a true 4-year. Lots of people postulate it being a 22. It wasn't a 22 year. I can assure you it was a 4-year. I'm not going to debate that. That's the way that I experience it. That's the way that I feel it was with what I know of numerology. So we're going to get straight into it. So what is 4? I got my trusty notes here. Always got notes. You guys know me by now. So 4 is a slow energy. It's slow, grounded, and determined. It's a number of structure. It's a number of order. And so this month really asks us all to be, or invites us all to work inside the parameters of what we know, of what we understand, what we can do really well. 4 is grounded and practical, and it's structured. This is the order, the energy of order. 4 is all about the manifest world. It's about the tangible, the physical, it's about the material. It's a very slow moving energy. So this month, I mean, which, you know, considering it's Leo season, isn't necessarily a bad thing. One of the things that I really like about this actually is it will allow us to enjoy the summer. It will allow us to just really experience the best of what we can. Providing we don't swim against the tide or try to fight the energy. That's the thing with 4 energy. If you try to force something, it will push back. And as we've already all seen, right, the universal energy is bigger than we are. Now, that being said, I've got here, this can be an amazing month to see results, but can also be a month that requires you to stand firm on what you have promised to deliver. So this is kind of the long and short of it, right? The number 4 is very linked to the energy of integrity, honesty. So whatever you promise you're going to do this month, you're going to have to show up for it. This is why in the month of August, you want to under promise and over deliver. If you do it the other way around, you will be held accountable. 4 and 6 energy tend to be very much like that. Like, you can't get away with throwing a comment out, oh yeah, you know, I'll totally be there and I'll do that. Like, it will hold you accountable. So if you say you're going to do something, be prepared to show up in that way. If you do show up in the way that you say you're going to, the rewards and the blessings can be absolutely wonderful, which is great. Now, 4 energy, I've got to be really honest with you, it doesn't fuck around. So like I said, you've got to be in your integrity, you've got to stand tall, you've got to be honest, you've got to be open about what is possible, what you're prepared to do, what you're prepared to give, and you need to follow through on that. What I will say as well, you've got to come up with the goods, right? If you're planning to do something this month, a solid plan, being organized, those things are going to be paramount for you this month if you really want to get ahead. One of the things that I will say about this energy as well, you got to come up with the goods. If you're planning to cut corners, if you're planning to try to pull the wool over somebody's eyes, or, you know, wing it here and there, it will catch you. And trust me, when 4 energy catches you out, it's usually quite public. So, or at least for you know, for somebody to witness. So if you don't want that experience, you'll have to forgive me, I'm currently melting. It's so hot here in the UK. But hey, I ain't complaining. We got sunshine. It's good, right? But it will catch you out. So what I've said to everybody is, grab yourself by the boobs or grab yourself by the balls and get on with it. You've got to dig in, you've got to dig deep, and you've got to be prepared to work. That is what this month is asking you to do. It's a powerful energy for getting ahead, absolutely. It can be a month where you can build a very solid foundation for whatever dreams, goals, hopes, wishes you have going forward. So the energy of the number 4, if you've been with me long enough, you'll know I will have said this to you. It can literally be a box where you, like, that holds you prisoner or holds you captive, and it's usually a box of your own making, or it can be a step or a platform to get you to where you want to be next, right? So use that to your best advantage. Now that you have that information, plan accordingly. What the characteristics of this energy are direct, focused, and linear. When you think about a square, it's, you know, it's lines, right? It's straight lines. It is clear. It's defined. It doesn't have, you know, there's nothing wishy-washy. 4 energy is you are either in or you are out. There's no room for, there's room for negotiation based on plans. Absolutely. Based on organization, yes, absolutely. But if you're hoping to wing it, you know, just chuck it in there and see how it goes, no. It's practical, realistic, and grounded, right? So all of these things are buzzwords this month. And if you're the sort of person that's usually like, yeah, you know, I'll just see how it goes, you might struggle this month, especially because the external world is going to demand more specificity from you. All right, so it's determined, disciplined, and dedicated. And it's interesting that those words come up with the 4 energy, because the letter D corresponds to the number 4. So, right, it makes sense. Discipline, determination, you know, dedication, all of these things. It's also a number that provides the energy of drudgery, honesty, and integrity. There's nowhere to hide with a number 4. It's just like a square, right? You know, if one line is kind of bowed or a little bit out, or, you know, goes off at an angle, it's no longer a square. That's why when you think about the energy of the number 4, it's precise. You know, it's precise, it's specific. And this month you have to be those things with yourself and with any of your endeavors. So the questions that you need to ask yourself: are your plans solid? Are you organized? Do you know where everything goes, where it belongs? Do you have a good idea of what the end goal or result actually looks like for you? Do they have weight, or are they pie in the sky? And this vibration is going to highlight that to you this month. So basically buckle up. It's not a bad month. There's no such thing as that kind of energy. It's not whether it's good or bad. It's about how you utilize it and how you internalize and then externalize that information or that energy. So yes, it's going to depend on your life path number, how you approach this. It will depend on your upbringing, your growth, your mindset. It's going to depend on your astrology. It's going to depend on all of these things. But when you think about each one of these systems, tarot, astrology, numerology, you know, energy work, like, they're all slices of what make up the whole you. And so each one of these pieces of information that I give you is giving you a different insight into how things are going to affect you specifically. All right, so with that said, let's get into your personal life path messages. Take care, and I'll see you in a moment. Hello, you life path 6 person. So let's get into it. So as a life path 6, you resonate with the number 4 to a point, especially in its sort of practicality mindset. And it definitely aligns with the energy of not rushing as well, which is something that you're known for, but you also know how to hustle when you need to, right? I would say that's pretty much where it ends though. You might find yourself a little out of sorts this month. 6 is very responsible, absolutely, and works very hard, but it wants pleasure. 4 wants work, and so this month you're going to have to find a way to balance out those two energies of doing what needs to be done, but also taking time for rest, recuperation, and recreation as well. So the thing that I want to say to you this month as well, you might feel like starting a lot of new things, going in different directions this month. You might even find that this month that you might find that you almost feel a desire to change something. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I actually encourage it. But one of the things that I will say to you is any changes that you route, you've got to take your time with. You can't just wake up today and say, I'm going to change career and go off in a completely different direction. You have to take time with it. Use this month to create plans, structures, routines. Get yourself organized. Think about what would really enhance the experience that you're having at this moment in time. The reason I say that is because Life Path 6 people have great minds. They really do. They're brilliant at taking knowledge and information and breaking it down. In fact, actually very similar to the Life Path 7, but in very different ways. What I will say to you is the slow, steady and methodical approach is going to get things done this month, right? So just consider that as an energy, and also ask yourself, what do the new directions that I feel myself being pulled in? What is the potential here, but what are the drawbacks? This is a really good month for you to do the pros and cons list. So for love life, you'll need to consider your relationship as a flower. What does it need more of to grow, right? And this is literally it. That's how I want you to view your relationship this month. Consider what it needs in order to grow, to be better. This month you might feel that your relationship is lagging in some way, but it's likely just that you're focusing more on what needs to be fixed rather than the experience that you're having. I will say this as well, don't create more cracks than there are, and don't shoot ahead of your partner this month. Ask them, like, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go, this is where I feel like we're heading. How do you feel about that? If you're open to meeting someone new, this number's going to see you being very practical about categorizing what your ideal person looks like to you. You might be interested in more of the tried and true sort of methods for meeting people this month. So if you find this month that the dating apps don't really cut it, that you don't really feel, connected to people that you're talking to online, it's likely because you're going to need to interact with them. So, talking to people, that you meet in the light of day, people that you meet on your journeys to work, to and from work if you're going out, to the supermarket, or maybe even a friend says, look, I've got somebody that I kind of think might be perfect for you, like, are you interested? This would be that kind of month, and I think those methods this month will be much more reliable than the dating apps and the hookup apps and all of that stuff. So when it comes to your money, Life Path 6 people, you love luxury, right? You are all about the sensual, the pleasurable, like getting the most out of what you have. Absolutely. You love life, living life well, and you love comfort. Comfort is very important to Life Path 6 people, and that doesn't always have to mean like the most plush of everything, but it usually does mean the best that you can have, right? So you might find that the budget is either sparse, or that you're looking at ways to have what you want on a budget that doesn't make your eyes water. That's really, really important. So upcycling, recycling, all of those things could be favored this month. If there's something that you need though, in order to replace, if you're replacing something, and I'm speaking specifically to that energy, if you're replacing something this month, it has to be something new. You can't upcycle, like, if you need, if the fridge needs to be repaired, it's easy for me to say, just spend your money. If the fridge needs to be repaired, don't get it repaired, buy a new one. This month, in that regard, you will do a lot better in that way. Whereas If you see something and you think, oh, you know, I really want that, but I can't afford it, find something that is similar and upcycle it. That's where you can upcycle. If something needs to be repaired, just replace. For what I've also got here for you as well, you could get really annoyed if you think someone or something is holding back from you that you want to purchase or enjoy. So if the partner or a family member or a friend says to you, you know, your budget doesn't really allow it, or we don't have the money for it, and you feel like, well, actually no, we do, it's just that you're being too prudent, or you're being too sensible. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might find yourself at odds this month. Remember, somebody else might be the voice of reason this month. When it comes to your work, you might find this energy great for work, especially because it allows you to get things done. You might feel the need to go it alone this month, which means waiting on others, or, you know, maybe even having to stop and teach people or stop and show people how things are done. You could feel quite impatient with that, which is really interesting as an energy, because as a life path 6, you're naturally attuned to, this is how we do this, this is how we do this. Like, you know, like you're well versed in showing people how to do things. You might find that really restrictive this month. You might just be like, you know what, I just need to break away from anything or anyone that's holding me back or holding me down. Find a way to honor that within yourself, even if it is only small ways, because if you don't, it will bubble over and you might find that you end up sort of lashing out. Find your patience in the mutual connections that grow when work brings us together, which could be really, really nice. Consider that. So if you're looking for work, then work backwards. First of all, think about what's available to you, then cross-reference that with things and skills that you actually have. If you can approach things in that sort of really methodical way, you could find yourself really hitting a sweet spot and finding a job this month that absolutely ticks all the boxes. So give some time and effort to that. Your best steps this month, remember that the devil is in the details, not the bank balance, which means shop around, look for deals, absolutely. Be open to other avenues or paths that you haven't considered, because there are going to be some that open up for you this month. And if you try to ignore that, I think you might be selling yourself short. And then finally, for your warning, this month comfort eating could rule, just as escapism could rule. You might want to escape into the material or the sensual this month. You might even try to ignore things that you feel hold you back. That's probably an unconscious yearning, and so you need to find a way to honor that. So your full moon, new moon messages, your new moon message is the gate 37 and sweetness. So this new moon, if you're a life path 6, is really trying to highlight to you where the sweet spots are, right? So if there's a new path or a new avenue that opens up for you around this new moon, it really likely is the right one, and it's going to be the path of least resistance. This month, that is one of your taglines. The path of least resistance is where you really get ahead as a life path 6. Your full moon message is the gate 33 and looking back. And look at this, 6, 33. I know it's a master number, we don't simplify, but I still find that really interesting. Because this is looking back and you've got the dragonfly there, the message is, if you can, so the full moon is going to highlight to you where you are in your personal cycle, right? And this is one of the easiest ways to, you know, they say the easiest way to predict the future is to create it. Yes, absolutely. But if you understand that we are all cyclic beings, that life moves in patterns and cycles of repeating energies, just like the numbers, you can, if this full moon is going to highlight to you where you are in your personal cycle, and if you can spot that, then you can say to yourself, okay, this is what came next last time I was having this experience. With that knowledge, you can really get ahead. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments. Do you love it? Do you loathe it? How does this work for you? Take care, and I'll see you soon.